On and meet the Spartans.
Okay.
Introduce us.
Meet the Spartans. So, for the benefit of vodcast viewers, here's my brief review.
We're being lively streamed. That was Mark banging his head against the table.
Okay, it's a spoof. I love the way they use spoof. It's a parody. It's a crazy, zany take on 300 from the team behind Epic Movie, Date Movie, vaguely behind those scary movies which weren't funny. Went to number 1 in America for about 1 hour and then went swiftly to number 7 and then hit the number 10 spot before bouncing out to number 16. Anyway, deal is that bloke out of EastEnders is Leonidas. And here's a clip.
Why is my king so restless?
Can't sleep. It's this whole battle of Thermopylae thing.
Are you still thinking about what that young oracle said? There's only one woman whose words you should listen to.
Oprah.
Your wife?
Right. How will I be tried in the court of public opinion?
Well, Harry Knowles at Ain't It Cool News says this movie is just a cheap ripoff of 300. Even if the Oracle doesn't support you, I do. And Sparta does. This could be our last night together. You want to do it?
And yes, the gag is, it's weightlifting, because the thing that the makers of Meet the Spartans have noticed is that the Spartans in 300 are a bit camp. And that's the gag that they have. They're a little bit camp. Now, one of the things people often say to me is, well, how can you criticise? Have you ever made a film? Could you do any better? Well, in the case of Meet the Spartans, you know what? I did do better. Go to YouTube, look at our review of 300. Every single Meet the Spartans gag that is in that review. It's shorter, it's funnier, it's free. Sorry, that was it. Took 3 minutes to do the gag about they all look like they're members of the Village People. They all should be dancing down the road to I Will Survive. Fine, boom. That's so. Now, once Meet the Spartans has run out of that gag, because that gag lasts precisely 3 minutes. Don't believe me? Go and listen to our podcast. They go, oh well, we have to do something else. So, according to the press notes, in this crazy interpretation, our heroes encounter a host of madcap characters. Madcap. Always beware of madcap. Bearing more than a striking resemblance to some of the biggest names in film and music. So they've run out of Spartans gags. So they bring on somebody who does Britney Spears, right? She shaved her head. That's really, really up to the minute. Rocky, he talks funny. American Idol, that's Simon Cowell. He's quite nasty. Then the film ends, and then there's a series of credits which say things like George Bush lookalike, Dane Cook lookalike, and you think these people weren't in the film, and then they're not. They're in the 10 minutes outtakes afterwards, and the reason they're in the outtakes afterwards is they are so unlike the people they're meant to be taking the mickey out of. If they didn't appear after the credits, you wouldn't know that's who they were. There is actually 2 moments in the film, one of which in which somebody is doing an imitation of Dane Cook that is so bad, even though he's been credited as the guy who's doing an imitation of Dane Cook, that somebody actually says, "Oi, you, Dane Cook." And another bit in which somebody says, "Look, it's the fat bloke out of Borat." Because if you didn't say these things, you wouldn't know. None of the jokes are funny. None of the jokes are topical. I mean, the Britney Spears shaves her head joke. If Hale and Pace had done that gag the day after it happened, you just about would have got away with it. And if Hale and Pace had done all these gags in the week that 300, you would have gone, well, it's limp and stupid and rubbish, but hey, 2 Ronnies is off nowadays, Hale and Pace will put up with. I mean, this long after the fact to go, it's a parody, it's in the mould of Airplane. No, here's the key thing. Airplane, the gags in Airplane came really, really fast. They were really light on their feet. Every frame had a gag in it. There was too much to see. If you watch it again on video, it's like the stuff is flashing. In 300, the gag, it's like watching a hippopotamus wallowing in mud. It's like the gag will be set up and then it will put its big flat foot and go squish, and then it'll go bleh, and then there'll be a pause. And the pause is meant to be where the laughter is. And it's like that Vic Reeves thing, that there's this and a tumbleweed kind of goes through as total laugh-free existence. I mean, the movie's like 78 minutes long, including all the credits, and it still feels like you've been in there for the best part of 4 days. And it's cheap and shoddy and badly put together and not funny. And this idea that, oh, here's what we'll do. I mean, here's another example. There's a gag in which the opposing army turn up, right? There's only 10 of them, but they turn up with a blue screen, right? That's the gag. But then they go, oh yes, it's a blue screen. We're going to computer graphically impose the people on the blue screen because it's a joke about blue screen. And then the Spartans bring on their own blue screen. And it's like the mildest, tiny little atom, the Horton Hears a Who thing is stretched over 10 minutes. And you're sitting there thinking, what could I be doing? I could be filing my teeth down. I could be doing any number of things that would be less annoying than watching this happening. And they just doing the... And you know what? The Spartans are really camp. They do Austin Powers gags. Austin Powers gag. I mean, Austin Powers is like... It was the previous decade, wasn't it? So, it's so not funny. And it's so badly done. It's so cheap. Bad news is, it costs 30 million or something. It's taken 50. That means the sums will add up. If you make it go to number one, they'll do it again. I mean, really, it's so gut-bustingly not funny that, you know, you can't sleep with a clear conscience if you pay to see it.
How unfunny is it?
I'm trying to think of something that was comparable.
Well, gut-bustingly was working for me.
Yeah, it is that, you know, I tell you what it reminded me of. You remember there's a line in Hitchhiker's Guide when somebody is listening to Vogue on poetry, right?
Yes.
And they're
second worst poetry.
Second worst poetry after that woman who lived in Finsbury Park, right? It is Finsbury Park, isn't it?
I can't remember.
Fine. Anyway, and at one point, the person, he's listening to it, and his intestines leap up and strangle his head because the intestines can't take the poetry anymore. That's what I felt like.
James Reed says, for those of us who missed Mark banging his head on the table as they were away from their computers, could you ask him to do it again, please? My best to you both. You better not do that too often.
No, honestly, that's what it felt like, doing that for like 78 minutes. God, it was rubbish.